Alright guys, we're back with some more MX versus ATV Reflex, and today we're taking a look at a custom track by HURRENCANE. The track name is HURRENCANE Hills, and if you play Reflex on PC, you've probably played a track by Hurren. Now from what I understand, he hasn't made a track for a while, kinda just stopped, I guess. And he came back after years of not making custom tracks to give us this awesome motocross track, this awesome custom motocross track. And my original goal was to try and do 5, 6, 7 laps without messing up. We used to be able to do that, but I already said it in the last Reflex video. We've been on the Supercross 3 grind pretty hard, and then coming back to Reflex, you know, the game, it feels quite a bit different. So my, I guess, muscle memory is programmed right now for Supercross 3 and not Reflex. But I tried my best. I couldn't get that many laps in a row together without messing up pretty bad. And I apologize already that the laps might not be as good as I wanted them to be, but that's why we kind of edited a bunch of them together. So the track, it's like a minute and a half lap times and a bit less, but pretty close to a minute and a half lap times. And I'm sure if you play Reflex a lot, or if you're really good, I'm sure it's a lot less. But if you're like me, it's probably around a minute 20 lap times. And so I'm just kind of averaging it. For me, it'd probably be about an average of a minute and a half, considering how many times I mess up and have like a minute and a 40-second lap time. But the track itself, you can see, is really, really, really flowy. I have played tracks by Hurren, but I couldn't tell you what they were. It's been a while, so it had a fresh feeling to me. I mean, every track creator kind of has their own signature style, kind of. And like I was saying, I haven't played a track by Hurren for a while, so it was just very, very flowy. It kind of had, here you can kind of see, we were tripling, but I don't know. I did try to quad several times, and even if you were to whip glitch, I don't know if you can do it. It's really close, and if you were to rail the outside and maybe have a different bike setup, you know, a different tuning than what I have, maybe it would work. I'm pretty right down the middle. I don't have it set too much. I believe maybe my top speed is a bit higher, but for the most part, everything is pretty right down the middle. I don't change that too often unless it's like a full send kind of track. You know, like a MX Warlord or something. A track similar to that where everything is huge. I don't mess with that setup too much. I didn't mess with it for this track either. And the track, it kind of has a balance. It feels realistic enough. It has that kind of realistic setup. It has plenty of rough sections. There's places and laps you'll see here where I really, really took it easy into the corner because I was overshooting it and going off track, or getting really sideways or whatever. And he does have a bunch of line choice here. I mean, as far as in the corners, he has a lot of different ruts you can take. I mean, you could go outside here. Maybe I show you, I don't remember really. But you can go outside and then, I believe that's a quad. And then maybe you could carry enough speed where you could actually hit the quad after that. But unfortunately, I'm not good enough to do that. So I encourage you guys on PC to try this track out and let me know if you could get it. I'm pretty sure you can. Pretty sure you can. But if you happen to try it, let me know, because I feel like that would be a really sick line if you could quad that. You carry so much speed into that next section that that uphill, that step-up triple would probably be a lot easier carrying that much speed from the quad. But I really don't know. And the ruts, they're the kind of ruts that I love. The ones that really grab you and you don't kind of push over the top of them. I mean, we've talked about it in almost every custom track Reflex video, where you have the ruts that are probably more challenging because they don't grab you as hard, so you just can't carry that insane speed through the corner. But for this track, the way he built it, because he does have some very big sections, such as that big double that has that big gap that you have to clear, you know, you really have to carry speed. I know there's not really a rut there, but he has other sections such as that. Shortly after the finish line, you know, we go through those rollers, and then we jump down into the bottom, and there's like 4 ruts you can choose from. And typically we're taking like the second rut, and that's a big jump. So you really have to carry your speed, and he built a majority of the ruts to grab you. So you can do that. But for the most part, most of the line choice is in the corners, and there's a bit in some of the other sections, but it is a motocross track, so it's going to be, you know, hit it this way. This is how he made the track, and this is how he kind of wants you to hit it. And then off the start, I didn't really talk about it, but off the start, you're actually on the right side. The track kind of comes together at the finish line. So off the start, you're actually jumping off the right side, and then when you finish the lap, you're actually on the left side, jumping over. I mean, if you take some of the insides, maybe you could hit the same line if you whip glitch, but he gives you the option of going a little bit farther outside. And this section right here, this kind of S-turning, I know I say I don't really enjoy S-turning, but that is a very small S-turn, and it flowed really, 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 really good. You could carry so much speed into that and then hit that really rough kind of hill in the backside, and the track does have a fair amount of elevation change. I mean, it should. It's called HURRENCANE Hills, so really, really good track. I was really happy with it. I thought he did a great job, and I know I said it in the other video, but it's always fun to come back to Reflex. I mean, after being on the Supercross 3 grind, it's just a breath of fresh air to jump into a different game that feels different, especially my favorite MX vs. ATV game of all time in MX vs. ATV Reflex. So, really good job. What were we saying? I was saying something, and now I got sidetracked. Were we talking about line choice? I don't remember. I got sidetracked when we were talking about that S-turn, where I said you can carry a ton of speed, but yeah, really good stuff. We've gotten 2 new custom tracks in like the span of what, a week? 2 weeks? Crazy, absolutely crazy. Reflex is still very much alive, and if you play on PC, then you very much know that there's a ton of custom content that you can check out. So I highly encourage you guys to give this a download, especially if you're trying to, you know, play a different game other than Supercross 3, since that's a new one. This is always a good solid to come back to, and especially when you get new content such as this. So Hurren MX, really good job. Super flowy. The design was awesome, and I enjoyed the fact that all the sections worked really good out of the corners. I feel like that was a strong point of this track. He gave you many options. If you wanted to take an inside, you could probably still do the section, maybe have to whip glitch a little bit. But if you didn't want to do that, or didn't know how, you still have the option of going a little bit farther outside and still being able to do the same thing, just, you know, having to carry a bit more speed. So check it out. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.